reaction with Levy. Today we're going to break down why keeping Dave Gettlemen was the wrong decision for New York. Let's talk about his record first. In his 3 years as the New York Giants head coach, he is 5-11, 4-12, 6-10. That is a winning percentage of 31%. 31%. What GM in the whole entire universe would be kept after 3 seasons with a 31% winning percentage? Oh, well, the culture changed this year. You're still 6-10. In what world? It doesn't make any sense. Number 2, vision of the organization. Marin Tisch came out today saying the culture and the foundation, the Giants are building it for years to come. Okay, I agree with that. But however, a 70-year-old GM with cancer in his past, is he the one that's leading the culture and foundation for years to come? And what about the relationship between Joe Judge and Dave Gettlemen? Is that working right now? Because the rumors of Joe Judge's former colleague who's gotten along with Nick Casario coming to New York, that's gone. Is he got to be upset about that? Is he? Do we know? Do we know the relationship between the coach and the GM and who has the authority in the room? There's a lot of questions of who is making the real decisions. Because it was rumored last year Gettlemen lost some of his decision-making power. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We don't know. And that could pose a problem for years to come. And I'm not just saying this because, we don't know. Let's look at other teams. And let's look at the most successful teams in the NFL. You look at Buffalo, Bean and McDermott, hired at similar times. San Francisco, Shanahan, Pick, Lynch, they were hired at the same time. You look at Carroll and Schneider, good working relationship. Carroll picked Schneider. Kansas City, Reed picked Veach, good working relationship. They picked each other or they have had a prior relationship. They work. Do we know if these two work? No one knows. But I know that there is question in the room of who's making the final decisions. Who is it? Is it Judge? Is it Gettlemen? Is it Marin Tisch? The question of authority becomes apparent. Things could get rough in the future. Finally, GM 101. Some of Gettlemen's best decisions that have been praised in the past should be questioned. Let's look at the Leonard Williams trade. Leonard Williams was traded for a third-round pick in a year that the Giants were not competing and he was going to become a free agent in the next year. Why not wait for him to become a free agent? Then you have another third-round pick and you continue to build this roster. That's just losing a free player. I mean, yes, he's a great player, but you already have Dalvin Tomlinson and Dexter Lawrence. If you really wanted him, go get him in free agency and then go use a third-round pick on maybe a second corner or an edge rusher, which we are struggling with right now. So that did not make sense to me at all, even though Leonard Williams turned out to be a stud. Number 2, Saquon at number 2. He was touched by the hand of God, according to Gettlemen, but in no right mind would any GM draft a running back in the top 10. And even if they had in the past, it hasn't worked. Zeke Elliott, number 2. Have they won? He struggled this year, and they paid him a lot of money. Look at Leonard Fournette at number 4 overall by Jacksonville. Where's he? Oh, he's gone. He's released. McCaffrey at number 10. Have they won? No. They've blown everything up. So, bottom line is running backs are so variant in this league. You look 3-4 years ago, you look at the top running backs. David Johnson, Todd Gurley. Where are they now? Todd Gurley got released from LA, went to Atlanta, and now he struggled in Atlanta. And then you look at David Johnson, he's on a losing team in Houston. So you can look, and there's so many injuries with these running backs, they're not as durable anymore. So what's the point of drafting a guy in the top 5, and he hasn't even played a full season? He's played 1 full season in his career, so that did not make any sense to me. You could have, if you like Sam Darnold, you could have taken that number 2. Or if you didn't like him, you could have traded down. Or you could have taken a guy like Bradley Chubb, who's been a stud on Denver, or Denzel Ward, who can be your second corner right now. So needs that could have been addressed have not been, and instead they go for a running back that has not even contributed to his best year as GM here in the 6-10 year. Next, you can get a guy in the second or third round. Of course, look at Derrick Henry. How's he doing this year? I think he's pretty good. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. So there's more guys available later in drafts. Next, at the running back position. Next, Daniel Jones at number 6. Yes, he's your franchise guy right now. But multiple sources that night were saying that he would fall past Washington at 15. Why not make a move, trade down, get some more players, get some more picks, and then get the guy at the right value? And I don't even know if Daniel Jones is the guy. No one does. Is he really your guy right now? Yes, he played really good football, but you look at some of the other quarterbacks that are coming out of the draft. Kyler Murray, he's been great. Justin Herbert, how about him? He's been awesome. Joe Burrow, besides the injury, he flashes some greatness. So, yes, Daniel Jones is better than Dwayne Haskins, but I don't know. You could have gotten some other guys like a Josh Allen in that prior draft when you took Saquon. So, a lot of decisions where you didn't get the right value on a guy that maybe or maybe not is your franchise quarterback. If you took maybe a different quarterback a year ago, you could have gotten Josh Allen as the pass rusher that year. So interesting stuff there. Number 3, he's never traded down. Let's look at this year. Andrew Thomas, he might have been your guy, right? At number 3, he was projected to go at number 11 to New York. So you could have traded down as low as 14, where Tristan Wirfs went, and gotten another offensive tackle because there were 4 guys there. And you could have even gotten Andrew Thomas lower. You get more picks. You get more pieces for your roster. The bottom line is the coaching really superseded the talent on this roster this year. There are a lot of holes. The offensive line is still working. Defensive line, yes, the interior is great, but do you have the edge rushers? Do we have another corner? Linebackers are an issue right now besides Blake Martinez. Safeties have been good, but what happens later in the draft? So there's a lot of holes right now on this team that are being masked by this coaching staff. And the bottom line is when you go 4-12, 5-11, 6-10, you made some of the moves he made where he lost some players he could have built this roster with, and you just don't get the right value for your top 2 guys in Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. What is the point of keeping him? Does the culture and the vision align with the coaching staff and GM? We don't know. Does the record do? Because right now we see that the record has not. He has not really made the correct moves as GM, and there's a question of the relationship between the coach and the general manager, which is a key issue.